What's up, guys, and welcome back. It has been a little bit of a hiatus. We are starting season 3 of CarBiz Leaders Live featuring the principal's office. This show is going to be awesome. I have two of the most hardcore car guys in the business you ever met, Mike Mannone and Eddie Fortuna. These guys are hilarious. They really know their stuff. And I totally believe that you are absolutely going to love this show today. I hope that you guys stay in and watch. And let's get ready for another episode of CarBiz Leaders Live featuring the principal's office, where I like to say the only office that you actually want to come to. Let's do this. Let's get started. Here we go. So before I bring out my very special guests today, let me just tell you a little something extra about them, okay? These guys know the car business inside and out. We're going to call them Team MGM, okay? And they are jam-packed with knowledge that is going to totally help you drive growth and more success in your business and add to your bottom line. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome you. I'd like to welcome my man, my Italian stallions, okay? Mike Mannone and Eddie Fortuna. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much.
What a great intro. Thank you so much.
You guys are two of my favorite people in the whole wide world, so I'm so happy to have you. If you wouldn't mind, Mikey, I'll let you go first, just introducing yourself to our audience, please.
Sure. Michael Mannone, I think Rachel, we're going on what, 10, 15 years worth of doing business together. It's been a long time, a lot of cars, and your company helped my company thrive. And I had a lot of success with Lexus dealership in Michigan. Worked my way from the sales department to the general manager's position, and then eventually owned my own dealership for a 10-year period, independent Highline dealership. And, to talk about Eddie for a minute, we've been friends. We were kind of chit-chatting about it. I couldn't believe it, but we've been friends for, 1988, which I was 18 years old out of high school. In fact, the first 6 months of my sales career, I had to put my deals in someone else's name because I wasn't old enough to have them in my name for tax purposes. So, but back then you could get away with that kind of stuff. And that's when I met Eddie, and we've been best friends ever since. And, he's always tried to beat me in golf, and he's just been not successful. But that being said.
Eddie. How you going to let him say that?
I haven't played with him in a while, but he was pretty good, I can tell you that.
Eddie is an absolute legend. I've seen him being slanging some cars, one of our customers as well. Eddie, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I started back in 1987. My brother was a year older than me, and he went down to Clearwater, Florida, worked for Toyota Clearwater. And the first year he called me and said, I made $70,000 my first year. I said, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Well, I go down to Clearwater when I'm 18 years old. There's 35 guys out on the point, 90 degrees. There's no such thing as lunch. The lunch truck would come by and feed us. But the trainers we had back then were amazing for Southeast Toyota and Jim Moran. They didn't call them those word leadership, culture, teamwork, mentors, but these guys were gangsters and they were great trainers. So throughout my years, I went with them and traveled around and dealer development stores. But recently, you think you've got it all figured out and you don't. And about 3 years ago, somebody dropped a book on my desk and it said 21 great traits of a leader. And I'm 51 at the time, and I'm going, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. I put it out to the side. I made a joke of it, but then I did read it, and then I seen where I could improve it. And not only that, it started me off to the races of Googling, 10 traits of a leader, 10 traits of a boss, 10 traits of culture, 10 traits of that. I mean, it's right there in front of you. And if anybody knows me, I'm crazy, but I'm crazy passionate for this business, and I love it. And the words today are very, very good power words. So I've learned and adapted through the times, and and training and mentoring is one of my favorite things, growth and building a team.
Awesome. Now, what are some of the things that you see that dealerships are facing today? Like, what are some of the challenges that you think that we're seeing across? I know a lot of people. I was talking to a CPA from NADA. I just got back from NADA, and he said, all the technology in the world is great, but if your people do not use it, that's going to be a problem. So that's what I see is happening, right? Is like getting the people engaged, getting them using the tools, right? But that's what I see. What do you guys think? Let's go with Eddie first.
Well, I think the most important part is onboarding. I think when you're hiring somebody and you're bringing somebody on, no matter if it's a service advisor, a porter to a general manager, I think you have to do the right vetting process, do the right onboarding. We just don't want to bring anybody in. And if we do, we got to make sure that we spend the time and train them. It's not fair to them to bring somebody in, don't train them, in 90 days throw them out. So I think onboarding is one of the biggest things, and that's part of growth too. Young men and women under 30 are struggling with human interaction because they've never had to. They've had their phone. So that's what we trained over there, and we built. There's one guy he had the biggest case of stage fright I've ever seen. But we was the BDC manager, and he was nailing it. The words were beautiful, everything was perfect. We made him a salesperson. It was like you see it goes. But through processes, repetition, all the tools we have, we got the power. We got the power to show comps. We got the power to show other cars that are available, the Carfaxes, the iPackets. There's so many tools. Selling cars couldn't be any easier right now. It's right. Making your team, building your team, training consistently, and showing them the value of the vehicle and the value in themselves. And that is by preparation, passion, enthusiasm is the perception of the customer that they're talking to. And forget the business. What about life itself? You got to have the same words in your playbook if you're going to be talking to somebody to have a presentation and passion and enthusiasm, and that's what they perceive. So the perception of the customer in the deal is really what it comes down to. And it might not even be a dollar amount.
That's a good challenge. Mikey, what do you think some of the challenges that people are going through today?
Well, to expound on that, Eddie and I have been talking about this for many years, and we came to the conclusion that in the middle and after COVID, the communication and the interaction between people was damaged. We all know that. I mean, look at the kids these days. They're not learning anything. But that being said, bringing it into a sales perspective, that's also been damaged. Your one-on-ones that you used to do where you'd pick up the phone and call somebody with your salesperson in front of you, and they would learn from that. It's not textbook that you can just teach that. They learn from hearing your words. And on top of that, the group meetings where there were training sessions, they're just like non-existent anymore. And it just became so non-personal. So, what we do, and Eddie and I together, I take a different little role. Eddie's a pump up guy. I look at numbers, but face-to-face training is just superior to any sort of training that you can have. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes our service that we're providing, we to lead by example, mostly coach. And that's all it is, making your people better.
Right. And just so everybody knows, I've had Mikey look under my covers too. Okay. He's one of those people that I trust.
Nice cover to look under, by the way.
Thank you. But somebody I trust to actually look at my numbers and go, okay, what do we got to do to kind of, shave a little here, cut a little here, collect a little here. So I really appreciate your help on that, because that is totally alleviated some of the pressure from my business personally. All right, let's talk more about how you can bring success. So you guys are offering like a curated coaching, consulting stuff for dealerships right now based on your experience. Let's talk about how you would bring success to an organization. Like, let's say a dealership is struggling, they want to come in, they need your help. What are you guys going to do?
You want me to take this, Mike?
Yeah, let's go.
If you want to start it, Eddie, go ahead and I'll finish it up.
All right, let's go.
One thing I go in when you go into a store and you're trying to make a difference there is that you want it. Everybody's worth a stock, a dollar stock, let's say.
Mhm.
But what you do when you're training and you go out there and you go instead of telling somebody, go show them. Like when they used to come and say, "Can you call one of my customers?" I'd say, "Yeah, turn the country music down, bring them in there, bring everybody else available."
Mhm.
And then I'd get them in there and show them the perception and the passion and do them that I wouldn't even talk about numbers. I'd say something to the effect of, "I promise you I won't let you down. Wait till you see this deal. I want your trade. I'm going to make this happen. How fast can you get here?" And you don't even say a dollar amount. Saying 500 more off is too easy. But it's the way they present themselves. And that's one of the things we do. But I think everybody needs to grow. At 51 years old, and she threw that book at my desk, I've learned more in 3 years than I learned in 31, 2 years now. Because I'm learning about the words today. And these are power words, mindset, vision, culture, leadership. Those are big words. You can't just throw them around without knowing the true meaning and diving deep into them. And I do. And, vision's a good one. Vision, it can be a curse, because if the other person doesn't have vision, they might think you're outdoing them. And that's not what you're there to do. But growth is the key of everything, especially these young men and women under 30, to build them up, to train, to spend the time with them. Go home, look in the mirror and say, I did everything I did today for myself, my family, and my company. If you could do that every day and look in the mirror, you're doing your job.
Yeah, and I would have to agree too, and I think young people have their genius, okay? I really do. But when it comes, there's some of my young people, they're technologically like little geniuses, all right? But I do believe it is a confidence thing, right? It is coming out of your shell. It is building them up. And we all know that the car business can be hardcore, right? It's a hardcore blood, sweat, and lots of tears business. So you do need to build somebody up so they have that kind of grit, right? In order to be successful in the business. Mikey, what do you think? What do you think?
Well, I'm thinking about that as you asked the question, and Eddie's spot on. He can get face-to-face, train the sales force, and really give them the words and the technology to move forward. There's a point in my life, because I'm not perfect, and I'll admit, not mistakes, but faults that I have. And, there's a portion of the business that sometimes technology passes you by. I mean, I don't want to say anything's passed me by, but, I'm 53 years old. And like you said, you can have these young 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds come in and boom, 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 they get everything. And it might take me a second to learn that portion. But our main thing is to not only just train to have somebody sell cars, but train to have somebody make gross profit, which stores forget because they just want a deal. They want a car over the curb. They want to hit their number. They want to get their quarterly bonus because of volume. And everybody forgets that money keeps the store running. So if you don't set up your F&I department correctly, or you walk in a customer on the lot and you don't say something like, hey, you know what? We make this real simple here. I mean, all our cars are priced at fair market value. We can even look it up on the phone, and it's going to show you that we're right where we're supposed to be. And instead, they bring in the customer after they're landed on a car, sit them down at a desk, and start the negotiation process. But if you put that little barrier in there that you're already priced correctly from the start, it sinks into a customer's brain, and then they can think to themselves, well, boy, I was going to offer them $2,000 less, but maybe I better readjust my negotiation a little bit. And it's just planting little seeds like that. And that's kind of what we teach. I mean, Eddie's a pro at getting them sold, and I'm a pro at making them fucking money. Oh,
right.
Sorry.
Oh.
My bad.
Let's just thank Hunter right now for his comment. Good.
Yay, thanks, Hunter. Sorry for the language, bro. I didn't mean to go that route.
That's all right. But listen, we're all car people. It happens. But I absolutely believe in that too. So let's go, Eddie. How do you, just going off of what Mikey said about kind of preempting the customer, what are some of the mistakes you're seeing that the sales force is making right now? Because I can point out a few. Like, I've seen some people ask some weird questions, like people do not want to sit in a chair for 2 hours while you ask them dumb questions. So that's what I see is some of the mistakes. But what are some of the mistakes you're seeing that salespeople are making?
Well, I think it's like 0.97 showrooms people are visiting now, or their leads are coming in. So if the lead's coming in or they're coming in the showroom, they're 90 whatever percent of the way there. So it comes down to being prepared and to take a phone up or to my biggest thing is the BDC. That's the heartbeat of the dealership, your CRM, your V-Auto, because that's your pricing or whatever pricing tool you may use. But if you price them and your photos are up and everything's up there and you're monitoring your leads compared to what you're getting in, reprice it 100, maybe 2. But it's about the salesperson taking a phone call that doesn't even know about the car. And he says, well, hold on. Hey, Jimmy, what's that stock number? Is that car? All that stuff. People are out on that. And you're better off just checking out. And another thing is this round robin lead thing. That was great during COVID. Round robin phone ups, that was great during COVID. But now it's back to hardcore, selling. And why would you give somebody a car that's got scratches all over it? It's an edgy car. It's $99.98. And it's got 130,000. The person is complaining about a new car with a little scratch. Give that person, why wouldn't you give them a Tesla that knows how to explain? They're like, you got to monitor who's getting these leads because they're probably embarrassed to even show the car. So by being in your e-leads or CRM or whatever you may use in your V-Auto, if you're following that, it's really simple from there. Then what you can do is pull up before you call a customer. They got this thing. I don't know if anybody uses it. It's iPacket. And iPacket gives you the Carfax, the build sheet, the this, the that. Every time they open it, the salesperson gets an alert. Why not open that up? Well, you got the customer on the phone and say, sir, we just got that car in. Let me give you the right information. You call yourself out too. What we do is a lot of people are still using templates and people are interested in cars. That's craziness. Yeah. You got to sit there and say what we said is great news. The car is available. I'd love to send you some live pictures and videos. Because websites can be deceiving. Now you can call yourself out because they are deceiving. Look at me. I probably look better on the camera than what I do. But, it's
I don't know. They're supposed to say that the camera adds 10 pounds, all right? Like, I'm so much skinnier than this. I'm so much skinnier. Mikey.
So then they go into what they say, and they say,
let me add to that.
The videos.
Eddie
go ahead, Mike.
Eddie had a couple great points. I mean, BDC, for example, if you have a 22-year-old answering the phone on we even talked about it this morning a little bit, answering a phone on an F-150 that you've got that's lifted and got, whatever it's got on it, and they're trying to sell that car and get the customer to come in. That, to me, and to Eddie, I mean, that lead needs to either go to somebody that's educated enough to talk about that vehicle or immediately say, let me transfer you to somebody that can give you a little bit more information and give it to a salesperson. That's where the cutoff happened pre-COVID more, where it was just if I called in and I asked about a car and I got some teenager that I'm thinking I'm talking to that's not giving me the information that I want, well, transfer me to somebody that can give me the information I want. I don't want to be mean to them by any means, but I want to know about the product before I come in. And they're not. That's why BDCs to me, unless you got a killer one that you're paying big money to,
Believe it or not, Mike, you know, that's the highest paying jobs that went up since COVID.
It is.
It are up to 75 to 150,000 for a BMC.
And dealers love it, Rachel. Dealers love it.
Or they're begging for it because they're spending all this money on advertising and nobody's picking up the phone when people call in. Okay?
And that goes to my point that's why this has gone in this direction, is because the salespeople aren't trained like we were, that you picked up the phone, you got the customer in. I mean, when I got in the business, we did our own F&I, we did our own deal approvals through the banks. We basically did everything except type up the paperwork. I mean, in this day and age, the salespeople, they can't even bring a completed deal file to a manager to sign off on it, and it's just not working. And that's where I think we need to get back to. Too many hands in the soup. That's my final thought.
Eddie, we've seen a lot of stuff happen. COVID, what we call, for a lot of people in the car business, those are the glory years. Lots of cars being changed, easy to sell a car. Now it's getting harder. Your people are demanding ace salespeople. What do you bring? How, if a salesperson is watching right now, okay, what are some of the tips that you can just give me 3 tips that you can give somebody to level up their game, be a little more ace in the hole?
Be prepared, number 1, before you take a phone call. You should be walking your inventory every day. You should know every car that's available out there. If you're not walking your inventory and you're just going to the website, you're off the leads. I used to take people off the phones because they didn't know what they were talking about, and we're not going to embarrass ourselves, so being prepared. The way you present yourself and the passion on the phone, because they're not coming in. They're coming in to buy a car or they're calling to buy a car. There's no more tire kickers. Those days are over. So you better be ready and you better put your game on, and that's enthusiasm, passion, and the way you present yourself. And remember, it all comes down to the perception of the customer, the way they think of you and the way they think of the numbers. And I think that they need to self-train themselves. I mean, Grant Cardone's amazing, but you can sit there and say right now to Google, 10 great traits of a walk around in 2024 on a used car, and 80 things pop up.
Eddie, I got a quick question. We're talking about passion. We're talking about presentation. I missed the 3rd P, the 3 Ps.
The perception. Okay. Of the customer and the deal. But that's built by all those other, the enthusiasm, the passion, the perception, the passion and the preparation. If you're not prepared, even in life, let's say you're going out and you're at a club. If you're not prepared, you got no passion, enthusiasm, I don't think too many people are going to talk to you.
Yeah. No, I'm always telling my team, you have to have a level of energy that people are going to want to be attracted to. You have to be somebody that they want to do business with. And, if you're not having a good day, it's like getting yourself into that zone. Okay, Mikey, how do you get in the zone? I want to hear from you.
How do you get in the zone? Well, obviously, I'm going to jump off of Eddie's suggestion. You need to be prepared. If you don't know your inventory and that phone rings or you get an email and you can't answer that lead fast because somebody else is getting a lead as well. So you have to be quick. You have to know your inventory well. And in this day and age, people are calling on specifics. It's like you said, no tire kickers. You don't have people, hey, so I just drove here from 45 minutes away and I want to look and see what you guys got in the used car department. Those days are gone. So, you need to know your cars, your inventory, and I'm a big processes and procedures guy. And if you don't have a plan every day, am I still heard?
Yeah, you're good.
Hold on.
All right, Eddie, I'm going to go to Eddie right now. Eddie, how do you get in the zone?
I get in the zone because I wake up in the morning and I get in, I put my country music on, I get pumped up, I'm ready to go. But it's confidence because I am prepared. I'm passionate. I love this business. I love the growth. I love training. I had 3 guys under 25 years old that there were porters before, and now they're gangsters. They're making 120, 150. One just told me I only made 7,500 last month. I'm crushed. He was making 750 a week 2 years ago. So that's the growth that they build, and that's the ultimate reward for me, is to see them grow and to see them. They wrote me a beautiful letter when I left there, about how I made a difference not only in the car business but in their life. And that's, to me, that's money and all that stuff is easy when you do the right things. But to see the growth of a human being and outside and inside the business, it's really the ultimate reward for me.
I absolutely love that. Okay, guys, we're coming to the end of the show. I want to hear, Eddie, let's go with advice. The best advice if you're going to a car dealer right now, what would you tell them? Your best advice?
If you think you know Viato, you better keep training with your Viato mentor, your trainers, because let me tell you, people say they know Viato, and if you're trying to buy cars and you're trying to price cars accordingly, and you're not using the right comps and you're taking the distance out too far, especially in the Detroit market. If you take a Ford Escape out to Toledo, it takes it way down. But you got to make sure you're doing it, because you think you might be trying to buy a car right, and you're never going to win it, or you're pricing it way too low because you didn't do the right comp. So keep training with your Viato, because you need the right inventory if you want to sell cars, and that'll turn your inventory faster also.
Can't hear him.
Love it. Mikey, advice to the dealers right now. If you were your best advice. Mikey, can you hear us? Oh,
I'll fire one for. You want me to fire one for Mike?
I want you to fire one for Mikey.
Keep training your people. You can always get better. You don't know it all. Keep self-training yourself. I don't care if you're a GM, a VP, whatever. You get better every day, but grow your people. Plant the seed, and then you can make an informed decision if they're going to be in the business or not. But to hire somebody and not train them, that's not fair.
I completely agree with you, and I've been down that road too. All right, now, listen, these are my people, okay? I've done business with them for years. Mikey's back on. I've done business with these two men for many years of my life. They are straight up some of the best car people I've ever met in my life. It's okay, Mikey. They are here to help you get better.
What I miss?
Just a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, great.
If you would like to have these two gentlemen come in and help you out, this is a way to get in touch with them. You can also leave it in the comment sections. We will be sharing this out on both of their pages as well. So you guys should have some stuff. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We need your support. I think this was some of the best content that we've had on the show in a really long time. And that's because these guys are the real deal. They have been in dealerships. They have grown teams. They have actually done the work. Okay. They have grown teams, built a culture, looked under the covers, made money. And if that's what you need for your dealership to take it to the next level, then these guys are for you. So without further ado, Royalty Logistics. Okay. We ship your cars. Okay. These two guys have been my customers for a long time. Okay. So if you ever need to see if, they could vouch for me. All right. Can I get a vouch? Can I get a shout out?
For sure.
Well, let me tell you something. It's been, I just did the math when we were going through this, and it's been 12 years that we've been doing business. And I got to tell you, I would never think of using anybody else. And you know what? I know there's Central Dispatch out there and Ready Auto Transport and all these companies that your car gets picked up for maybe a little bit cheaper than Royalty. But you know what? It sits on a truck. And by the time Royalty gets you your car, it gets through your service department and it's on your lot by the time Central or Ready has your car even off of their transport truck. So, I mean, that time is of the essence when it comes to getting a car on the lot. So I got to thank you over all the years that, I mean, you delivered on time when you said you were, and we rocked, man. I had a great inventory that was on the lot in record time. So I appreciate you.
Except for that one car.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that up. I was giving Rachel, it's always like I buy, we'll call it 15, 20 in a day, and I'd have 2 of them sold, and those were the 2 that didn't show up on time. So I told her I was going to give her a little bit of crap, you know. How come it's the sold ones that don't get here, but all the other ones that I don't care about?
It's a curse, man. It's a curse. Eddie, let's go to Eddie.
Well, I can tell you one thing I loved about using World Logistics is because it takes the pain off of the salesperson in the dealership. The way Patricia handled our cars, the customer would reach out to her. You know, there's a lot of causeways in certain areas that they can't meet at certain points. So by having the salesman go on central, yeah, it's like Mike said, 100, maybe $125 difference, but the experience the customer gets that the car is being followed, and congratulations, Patricia says, she follows it all the way till it gets there. She makes sure the causeways are there. That's a lot of heat. If you take the $125 and you got salesmen running around and managers running around trying to find keys for all these other transporters, I think you're going to spend more than $125.
And not only that too, but that's a white glove to a customer, you know.
Right.
Sometimes our prices fluctuate depending on, you know, like Mikey, we never charge Mikey one that much, but for white glove delivery, yeah, we're going to make sure that
we're going to make money.
We're going to make money. So,
well, and to compliment Patricia real quick, the greatest thing is you never have to contact the driver because she speaks 4 or 5 different languages, and she's able to communicate. She's able to communicate with the drivers that no one else wants to talk to. So, not to be rude, but
I love those Saturdays in there. What time you guys open till 4 o'clock? Yeah, I'll be there 4:15. You know what I mean? Nothing.
Right. Right.
That's one of the things that I think is amazing too. And that is one of the complaints, you know, like, you know, not a lot of people can speak the driver's language. And I think that's one of the the je ne sais quoi that Patricia brings to the table. So kudos to Patricia. Gentlemen, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Rachel, I appreciate
it today. I had a blast. I hope everybody got to learn something. And we'll keep rolling for the next one. I will send this out to you guys. And again, just have a great night. Thank you again for listening. And we'll see you next time on CarBiz Leaders Live. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having us. We love you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.